Hey folks, this is Best in Slot and welcome back to our newly updated Prehistoric Kingdom. The last update, Update 9, added our beautiful Spinosaurus to the game and the ability for all the species in the game to swim. There's actually been another update just a little bit earlier today, a couple hours ago, that adds a new ambient behaviour to the Spinosaurus. Now I haven't seen it yet, so I'm hopefully going to show you that towards the end of the video. But that's not what we're here for today. Spinosaurus is essentially the quintessential, in my opinion, swimming dinosaur. I think if you think swimming dinosaur, most people think Spinosaurus, right? At the moment, unfortunately, though, Prehistoric Kingdom does not have a way to view your dinosaurs underwater. There's no underwater viewing because of how the water works. Now, I have hopes, of course, that this is going to be added officially down the line, but until it does, there is a little bit of a bug we can exploit to build our own underwater viewing galleries for Prehistoric Kingdom, and that's what we're going to do today. Before we get started, huge shout out to Petite Paleo Artist over on Twitter, who I saw mention this in a comment that was highlighted to me and then shamelessly stole it for a video because the video I was planning to do can't be done because the thing hasn't come out quite yet. I also want to mention Prehistoric Kingdom is currently 25% off for the Christmas Steam sale, so if you've been holding off on the game, this is a fantastic time to pick it up. You've seen, the fantastic stuff that's been added. And lastly, I do want to mention that this is a bug, so if something goes wrong, you can't really blame the devs or anyone like that. It's blame me if you want to, but really just blame yourselves. We're taking advantage of an exploit here, so if something goes crazy wrong, that's just kind of, part and parcel, really. But I really do hope it stays in the game for now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is grab our water. We're going to make that not too deep. The deeper you go, the weirder this gets. I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to do sort of two varieties here. I'm going to recommend the depth, though, of only 2 meters. The Spinos aren't going to be swimming in this iteration. They're going to be wading around, basically. So you're going to put your water in. This is just the water you want for your exhibit, basically, where you want your viewing gallery to go. And I'm just going to do a deeper one over here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about with that as well. Nice big deep one over there on the right hand side. So you've got your water. Next thing you're going to do is hit escape and go to save, and you're going to make a new save file for what you've just done. We're going to call it something very inventive like the wet one. Once the wet one has been saved, you're going to go to load instead, and we're going to reload the save file we just created. So we're going to load the wet one. Have you loaded that in? Good. Next step, grab your terraforming again, and this time we're going to click on flatten, or level as it's called, and we're just going to level out the area which we want for our viewing gallery, where you want your viewing gallery to sit. Now, the first thing to keep in mind with this is it's not an exact science. As I say, we're abusing a bug here, so things can get a little bit wild, but I'm just going to carve out an area about that kind of size. If you do this too small, you'll also find it very difficult to manage. So don't make it tiny, but don't make it massive. About medium. Goldilocks it. And then we're going to do the same over here because I want to use this as a display. Okay. Now this is basically the point of no return. So once you've done with that, we're going to hold control and we're going to hit the Z key. Ready? Gonk. Okay, so it hasn't worked over here on the left, as you can see. I'll address that in a second. But over here on the right, as you can see, it cut down into the water. But as you can see, it took out a huge chunk of it. And that's kind of what I mean about it being unpredictable. Now, if you get a situation like this where you do it and it doesn't cut it out, this tends to work. If you hold control and hit Z again, it tends to fix it, as you can see. And as you can now see, rather lovingly, we've got this little underwater viewing kind of shebang. So what we can do now is grab ourselves a fence, grab ourselves a big glass fence, drag that all the way along there. You could do this a lot smaller, it would probably look a lot better, but we're going to drag it all the way along there. And we'll just carry on going, and we'll make ourselves a bit of a Spinosaurus habitat. Nothing fancy, but just showing that it works. Boop. Okay. And to display this, let's grab ourselves one of our Spinos, who's currently chowing down on a pumpkin. Not on my watch, my rank. And if we put our Spinosaurus in there and hop down, as you can see, just speed up time a little bit so it reacts to the water. It's currently doing I think it's doing the new animation, actually. But there, as you can see, it's now wading. Oh, don't do that though. As you can see, it's now wading around through the water, and it looks really good. We've got this lovely shadow effect. You can see it under the water. You can just see it above the water as well. I think it's really, really effective. I think it looks fantastic. And of course, we can do this in deeper water if you want them to actually swim. So let me grab the glass again. So problem one with this, of course, is that the glass doesn't reach the ceiling. It's a pretty easy fix. Just put like a bit of wood up there or something like that, build yourself a big exhibit. Let me grab my rank once more. You're my tester dummy, buddy. The other major problem with this, so that it will work if I plonk that down. but you can see, you can't really see the Spinosaurus at all. So I think the thing is, as the water gets deeper, it also gets more cloudy, basically. So the deeper your water is, the less you're actually going to see your Spinosaurus through the water. So that makes these really deep ones very hard to do. If you instead, actually there's two ways around this. If you want them to swim and for them to be visible, you can go for 3 meters in depth. 2 to 3 meters is the difference between swimming for the Spinosaurus. So it's 2 meters for wading, 3 meters for swimming. The other thing you can do, and it's a bit weird, but you could build inside the water, as in build around, put your fence like here, and then you can kind of view the Spinosaurus from inside the water like that, and that kind of works as well. But I would definitely recommend 2 or 3 meters, depending on if you want your Spinosaurus to wade or swim. Obviously, you'll have lower visibility in the 3 meters than the 2 meters, but it will be actually swimming around a little bit. But it looks really good in the 2 meters, as you can see. It looks absolutely fantastic. So, we can now take this and, of course, turn it into a bit more of an exhibit. Now, 2 little tips for this as well. First things first, you're probably going to want to level a little bit in the area, right? To kind of build your habitat out. I'm going to show you this on purpose. If you level too close to the water, watch what happens. Whoop! It's going to kill it. And if I hit Control Z, it doesn't help. It really doesn't help whatsoever. So be very careful when you're using your terrain tools around the water, because it just causes an absolute disaster. The same goes for, obviously you can put walls up here if you want to. Walls don't seem to have the effect, so I can grab a wall. Maybe I just want to build them. Well, now I kind of want to build the viewing area like here, right? So we kind of put a wall in over there. Maybe we'd have a wall in over here as well. Okay, it doesn't cause any problems. However, if instead we wanted to put some flooring in, let's grab our floor piece up here. And same thing will happen. As you can see, it causes problems with the terrain. So you just have to kind of be a little bit careful about what you're using for these habitat builds. And I would recommend instead using, I can't remember which one I really liked. I think it was this one in our Boreal. If you use this, not this one, this one. Yeah, this one or something like this. Just, you know, use like a darker terrain tool to create your flooring. You can, of course, also grab your path tool, and this won't cause any problems either. That's why I was smoothing out the area over here. We can do this. Now, you're not going to be able to get too... You can kind of get super close, but then it won't work anymore. Just trust me on that. So you can't... it says invalid placement if it's too close, so you kind of want to come down to about a bit of a distance, it must be said. But you can make yourselves a little viewing area kind of thing. So obviously the safer thing to do for your ceiling, grab a wall if you wanted, like so, and just flip the wall over. Good thing about Prehistoric Kingdom, it's all very... You know, up in the air, you can do whatever the heck you want, basically. It's one of the reasons we love this game so much, is it's so free in terms of what you're allowed to do. It's great. We just place that in there. And if it's not spreading anymore, you kind of just accept it, and then it'll go again, like so. So we can just do that. And there we go. Underwater viewing gallery kind of thing. Obviously, you'd spend a bit of time to make this look a lot better, but it works really, really well. You could even go 1 meter lower in your water, honestly, and you'd have an even better view. Or indeed, as I say, go 3 meters and get a little bit of that swimming, but with slightly cloudier water. I say, if you get a little closer, you can see the Spino under the water. Yeah, very, very cool. So that is underwater viewing Spinosaurus habitats. Both ways to do it, and all the pitfalls to avoid. Now, you got a little glimpse earlier on, but as I say, there is actually a new behavior for the Spinosaurus as well, a new ambient behavior that was just added today, wherein the Spinosaurus will dig up a mud crab and feast upon it, apparently with lovely sound effects. So to finish off the video, I'm going to make that happen. I've never seen it, and I don't know how to make it happen, so all I'm going to do is follow my Spinosauruses around until it happens, is the idea. I think that was it. Am I crazy? I didn't see the mud crab. I don't know if that's a bug or if I'm being very stupid, but I think maybe the mud crab itself isn't in the game, but the animation of it scraping around at the ground, and then you hear that crunch as it scoops it up in its jaw. So there you go, folks. A very cool new behavior, unless I've gone utterly crazy, which is always a possibility. And yeah, just a really cool little trick you can currently do, and hopefully you'll be able to do for quite a while yet. We are going to start a Prehistoric Kingdom park build. Obviously, Christmas is coming up, and things are a little bit crazy, but The plan is hopefully to start one next week or the week after at the very latest, and we will be integrating this into the park for sure. If you enjoyed this video, please consider throwing me a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about all this kind of jazz, and I hope you all have a lovely week. I'll see you folks very, very soon. Cheers, much love, as always. Bye-bye.